If you need any Xbox or PlayStation codes or anything gaming related, check the referral links down in the description. They'll take you to g2a.com. They already have a discount on most of their goods already, and with the code CHES at checkout, you can get yourself an extra 3% off as well.
Hey guys, how's it going? Chez back again, and welcome to episode number 92 of the Career Mode Road to Glory here on FIFA 15. We start with a home game against Aston Villa, a side that I'm really not too sure what to make of, to be completely honest. In real life, obviously, they have not had the best of times recently, with Tim Sherwood trying to turn the tide around, but on FIFA, they actually turn out to be quite a decent side, actually playing to the strengths that they have in that squad, and maybe perhaps fulfilling the potential that they don't really show in real life. So I'm not really too sure what to expect from this game. They're playing a 4-3-3, a very narrow 4-3-3 as well, with Andreas Weimann up top, with Nicholas Helenius and Tonev in a kind of two right attacking mid and left attacking mid roles sat behind him. So I didn't know whether they were going to just try and barge their way through the middle with pace, or whether they'd actually try and work it out wide. But as you can see, they are coming through the middle to start off with. Andreas Weimann works it though to Nicholas Helenius, and he does have a decent shot, but unfortunately for him, can't find the target. So we at least brush that one aside, and we stay at 0-0 for now. But they continue to come at me, and it's actually, and is it? Oh, I always want to say Kieran Westwood, but it's not. It's Ashley Westwood. Kieran Westwood is the goalkeeper, isn't he? Ashley Westwood again. It's Helenius with a shot, and again, it's rather poor on his left-hand side, and it just kind of tamely flies past the post. I don't really have too much to worry about, but they were building stuff very nicely through the middle, so I decided to try and do the same. Fabian Casada goes on a really nice run here, turns inside both those defenders, gets his shot off, and if that had gone into the back of the net, that would have been one of the best solo runs we've scored this season, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. The shot going well wide, so Zafane gets the ball inside to Georgiev here. He is left-footed though, Georgiev, so I tried to turn inside onto that left foot here, but it took a deflection off the defender. It was well blocked, came off his back, and went out for a corner. So we'll try again to try and get the lead just before half-time on the stroke of the break, and this time we do beat the goalkeeper, but Ashley Westwood is on the line to head it clear, and then Aguidar's shot goes just as agonisingly wide as Casada's did earlier on in the half. So at the very start of the second half, they're actually going to give away possession extremely cheaply here. Tonev just can't decide which way he wants to turn with it, so I'll just decide to take it off him instead. Georgiev races away, and that is a very accomplished finish from the youngster, powering it through the goalkeeper into the back of the net to give us an instant 1-0 lead at the start of the second half. The first half had been very kind of 50-50. It could have gone either way, and a draw from the first period was definitely the fairest of results. But if they're going to give the ball away so poorly there at the start of the second half, it's only fair for me to be able to nick it off them and score. But then they went up the other end and made it 1-1. I'm not really too sure how that ended up in the back of the net. A, the defender should have won the header, and B, he's headed it immediately down into the ground, which is actually what's done the goalkeeper, and it's then bounced over his diving body into the back of the net. But that was Delph's final action for the game, and they brought on Carlos Sanchez. But we throw it in, lovely flick by Georgiev here, and again, if he'd have finished that, that'd have been one of the best solo goals that we'd have seen this season. Both he and Casada now have missed glorious opportunities to score, a very, very good one-on-one goal. But unfortunately for both of them, not to be so far, although Georgiev obviously scored our opening goal. Chikawi's going to try and get us a second hit, but another shot. It seems to be the case with all of the shots in this game, apart from the two that went in, that everything just kind of flies past the post within a few inches of it, both for me and for them. So I guess in the end, a draw was the fair result. So we both take a point from that one, and we'll try and pick up all three in the next one if we possibly can. We're travelling away from home now to West Ham, obviously down into London to the Boleyn Ground, and I'm not really too sure what to expect from this one either, because West Ham are a side that could either be amazing or really, really poor, and we currently sit level on points in the league right now. We're on 19, they're on 19, and they only sit above us by +1 goal difference after 7 games, so I was hoping that we'd actually be able to get a decent game out of this one, and a decent result, but as you can see, that almost catches me out there in the opening couple of minutes. Carroll stands it up, and that could have gone anywhere, but fortunately for me, again, it went the wrong side of the post. So Fernandez gets it into Ravel Morrison here. Again, Aston Villa kind of dominated the opening stages in their game, and they were going to dominate the opening stages here, West Ham. But similar to Villa, they weren't going to be able to make the breakthrough, and we had to head into the second half before the next few chances came. Ravel Morrison with a nice little back heel to Andy Carroll here. They kind of play a 1-2-3-4, and Ravel Morrison eventually gets it back to Carroll, but on his right foot, he fires it wide of the post. If he'd have taken that on his left, pretty sure he would have kind of rifled that into the bottom corner, and they would have taken a 1-0 lead. But West Ham were so good in this game. You can see them continually just annihilating me. They're having another chance here. Unfortunately for me, though, that header was straight at Galese from Mauro Zarate. So we head into the last 10 minutes, almost into the last 5 minutes, and Pania plays the ball down the line for Schmidt. I was having to play quite a rotation side, as you can see Benik Afobe in the starting lineup, but he comes back to London after being on loan with us from Arsenal and, well, scores in his return to the capital. We make it 1-0 completely against the run of play in the 86th minute, and then Schmidt gets in behind here with just 2 minutes to go. For some reason, Mark Noble was absolutely shattered. Had he been fully fit, he'd have caught him, no questions asked there. But Schmidt is able to race away, and we really genuinely steal all 3 points from West Ham there. They deserved the win, and we get all 3. So I was delighted with that, to be completely honest. So we come back to another home game at the Abbey Stadium, or Town Park, as it likes to call it. On, of course, FIFA this year, thanks to a lack of licensing. But of course, Sunderland are another side that in real life really don't do that well, but they do have the potential in this squad, similar to Villa, to be a half-decent side. So again, I wasn't sure what to expect. There were kind of 3 games where we didn't really know what sort of game was going to be played. I decided to give Benik Afobe a start in this one after he showed good form in the previous one and was able to pick up the goal. Decided to give him the give him the benefit of the doubt and continue to play him. Hopefully he can put together a run of good goal-scoring form, because of course he hasn't really done it for us so far this season. Neither did James Wilson last year. 2 players that supposedly are very, very good to get in on loan, but Benik Afobe and James Wilson just haven't really lit the world alight for me so far, but hoping that they can do so. Obviously James Wilson can't because he's not here anymore, but hoping that Benik Afobe can put together a decent run of form here. We draw a good save out of the goalkeeper there, but they do scramble it clear. But we head half an hour in now. Southampton. Sunderland on the attack. Lee Catamol gets picked off though, and Ivan Stanklan finds Benik Afobe. There's a lovely through ball to Fabian Casada. All he needs to do is turn inside. Roberts decides not to do so, and has the shot across goal with his left foot. Had I decided to turn inside there and have the shot on my right foot, pretty sure I would have scored it. But unfortunately, the left-footed shot doesn't find itself on target. And Cabral has Will Buckley in loads of space here. Man over on the far side. Keeper commits himself, and Will Buckley hits the side netting. So that's definitely the closest either side have come to a goal so far. Liam Bridcut on the offensive here, as you can see. Man in front of him was offside, so he had to play it across there to Van Arnholt. Brings it down well, and he hits the woodwork. And 2 sliding players can't get the ball back, and that is definitely even closer now to a goal. But we stay at 0-0. Question was, with the final chance of the game, were we able to steal all 3 points the same way we did against West Ham? Cassida with a shot, but straight at Costel Pantilimon, and unfortunately it's going to be another 0-0 draw. So we get a draw in the first game against Villa. We get a draw in the last game against Sunderland with 3 points in between. So that is going to bring today's episode to a close, guys. Thank you very much for watching. We've got a few scouts, or a scout, bringing in a few reports now of a few youngsters to have a look at. No one really at present looks like they're going to be well beaters, but of course those 2, Cresswell and Bridge, could be if we get a little bit more of a detailed scout report on them. They might be kind of upper 70s, lower 80s if we find out if we can get a few more scouting reports on them. But that is going to bring today's episode to a close. Thank you very much for watching. As you can see, we'll have Tottenham in the next episode, but drop the video a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already. Check the channel page for anything you may have missed over the past few days, and I will see you next time.